Gya su Kalimera. Anyway, Yanis εδώ. It's Johnny here, Yanis. And today I'm going to talk about self-healing. Self-healing is, well, we're designed to do it. We're built. If you believe, like I do, that God created us, He definitely created us, she definitely created us, it definitely created us, they definitely created it. Whatever it is up there, the great mystery, we were created to self-heal. Before I go into it, first let me apologise for the blandness of my environment. I'll wave my hands around a bit, that'll cover up. My big Indian funny man fell down. They don't make blue tack like they used to. So I'm going to have to get industrial on it. So, just focus on me. We're designed to self-heal. So, if you believe that we were created by the Creator, the Divine, like I do, and there is so much evidence that physically we're designed to create, to self-heal, as we are, and this is clearly obvious in the fact that we get pains, which is our first early warning. There's something wrong. Get a pain in your knee. There's something going wrong either with my knee, the way I'm walking, I'm carrying too much weight, yada, yada, yada. There's a number of issues that are coming up. So, excuse me, I'm just going to get a bit closer. So, pay attention first to the trigger, the initial signal, because that's telling you what's wrong. And then you do something about it. So you fix it up, you go to physiotherapy, you change the way you work, you walk, you lose some weight. If you want to, and I don't recommend it at all, you can take medication. Herbal, natural medication, yes. I'm personally against pharmaceuticals. No, I'm not against pharmaceuticals, I'm not against anything. But I don't think pharmaceuticals are a great idea. They just deal with the symptoms and nothing gets to the root cause. And if we take the further self-healing evidence, physiologically, that's easy to say with these teeth, physiologically, is we have ketosis, we have autophagy, we have stem cell creation. If you fast for more than 17 hours, you start burning off and eating all the dead and dying cells, all the stuff, the protein fragments and strings that are just hanging around broken, the RNA sequences that are doing nothing. Your body just starts consuming them, cleaning you all up. Autophagy, it's called. From a Greek word, of course. Autophagy, eating itself. And after a 3-day fast, you actually start producing stem cells. You get stronger and you start getting muscle growth. Contrary to popular belief, you think you're just going to get weaker. But what happens is our DNA is really old and we didn't have doctors. We had to heal ourselves. We were designed to look after ourselves. If we go hungry, after 3 days, your body says, hang on, you've got to go and do something. You've got to pull down some wild beast or walk for a day to find some nuts and berries or whatever it is you have to do. So you're given the strength and the musculature, mainly muscle. So it does lead me to think that we are primarily designed to eat meat or have become that way. Because why would you need muscles to walk around and get nuts and berries? It doesn't seem. Anyway, more of this from Doctors Mindy Pelz and Jens and Eric Berg. They talk a lot more about intermittent fasting and the benefits. So it's quite clear to me that we are designed, and the way we deal with viruses, the way we get temperatures to overheat, because certain viruses can't live in extreme temperatures. We get temperatures, there's all sorts of systems in our body that are designed to heal us should we get ill. Now, I believe it's the same psychologically and emotionally. We are eternal source energy beings having a physical embodiment so that we can experience ourselves. If you're a light being and you don't have emotional content, so the physical embodiment is part of emotional content so that you can experience yourself. And that's what they say is the same with the Creator as well. We were created so that God could experience itself. Excuse me, the it, him, he, she, pronouns. It's a pronoun issue, folks. Down fucking pronouns again. But self-healing. So what happens is when you're young, and I guarantee you that everyone's got childhood trauma. We've all got childhood trauma. It's just the way we're designed. You can't get away from it. But how you deal with it is the benefit of the modelling that you do from your parental models, from the models you have. If you've got crap models, you will have rubbish ways of coping. If you've got really good models, you'll deal with this stuff a lot easier. So that's why the importance of two parents and good parenting is. And I'm one of the ones that two male and female parents, because they have whole different imperatives. They create oxytocin different ways. They're just biologically different, and it's the balance, the yin and yang, and the tension between that yin and yang, and the relationship between that yin and yang that makes the unity. And a child growing up needs both those very different approaches to life to have a balanced view. And my dog. Men are much more linear, women are much more emotional. Men, research recently, baby crying night, men wake up, women wake up, men sleep through. The sound of rustling leaves outside the window, women sleep through, men wake up. We just have different, very different imperatives. So anyway, pretty well, if you don't have a happy mum and dad sort of parenting thing going on, you'll have childhood trauma. Everyone has childhood trauma, it's just the way it is. We don't have the emotional resources to deal with that, and we're busy getting on with life and modelling everything so we can learn and cope with the other vagaries of life, which aren't just emotional, they're practical and all sorts of things. So we compartmentalise this stuff. Now this compartmentalising that we do is called Jung, the shadow self, millions of others, the inner child, for me, the grumpy badger. There is a part of you that is carrying the trauma. You compartmentalise this stuff until your unconscious mind, and who is doing this for you, deems that you have the emotional resources to deal with it, to process it. And this can come up sometimes when an odd memory from the past just floats up out of nowhere. That's usually a sign that it's time to deal with that trigger. And one of the benefits of journaling, which a lot of people recommend, is that you start seeing patterns in the triggers, and this helps you when you start dealing with behaviours that you don't want. We cycle a lot through these behaviours because we haven't dealt with the original thing. And I'm not really one for going back like psychotherapy and examining, what you did when you were 4, what happened when you were 4, when you were locked in the cupboard by your dad. It's just re-imprinting the trauma for me. So the quick healing idea is how to get away with it. Not away with it, how to get away with it. How to escape unharmed. No, how to quickly deal with it without having to re-imprint the trauma of it. We don't want to go there again. We've done it. It's in the past. So what we want to do is move to a place where it's not affecting our behaviour, because that's the thing that goes wrong. Now, your unconscious mind responds 2/3 of a second before your conscious mind. So before you've thought about it, your behaviour would have happened. You'll say something or do something which you don't want to do. Is might be antisocial, might be unpleasant, might be whatever it is. Your trigger has set you off. But you don't want to be a victim to your past traumas that you haven't dealt with. You want to be free of all that stuff. So that's what journaling is good for. And obviously, if you go to a hypnotherapist or a good NLP practitioner, we do timeline therapy, and we just lift it all out for you and chuck it away. So there is a way to deal with it if you want that brief therapy. But if you want to self-heal, do it all yourself, which you can do. One of the first things is to find the trigger. You've got to find out what it is that is happening. Why is it happening? Who is, in the shadow self, what's still in the shadows? So journaling is a really good way to do that, because if you examine your day, it's probably better to journal in the evening, I would consider. Maybe quiet time while you're waiting for, before your dinner or something, or you finish your day. Because, unless you've got kids, when it's mayhem, so maybe after dinner, if you have kids. But write what happened. How did the day go? What wound you up? What upset you? We shouldn't be in this low vibration stuff to be happy. My whole thing is about inner peace and finding true happiness. So you don't want these things that upset you, depress you, frustrate you, occurring over and over again, the same cycles, choosing the same bad partner, having an argument at the checkout again, freaking out over a bill. All this is unresolved childhood trauma. It all happens. Everything happens before you're about 6 or 7. That's when up until that age, your unconscious mind, your periphery is completely open, because you're modelling the world. You're trying to work out what's going on so that you can get by in the world. After that, your unconscious mind closes, and then shortly after that, a few years after that, you get the voice, which is the conscious mind coming in to being a critic, and that's another filtering system to help you understand yourself. It's all about experiencing yourself, because there is no reality. You're making it all the time. Your reality is going to be completely different to mine. Every time we think of something, it's quantum. The quantum theory is everything is a possibility until you examine it, and then as soon as you observe it, it's there. We do the same. We create the future that we charge towards. We say, I'm the sort of person that does this, all men are this, all women are this. So we're constantly creating these realities. So back to the point. So once you've identified the trigger, then you go, okay, so what is it that I freak out when I get a bill? I've got an issue with money. So I have to sort out the issue with money, otherwise I'm always going to be poor. I know a story of an accountant who made money for everybody else, but never could make money for himself. Just squandered it, fecked it away, I don't know how, he pissed it up the wall. Whatever he did, he was always broke, but all his clients were rolling in it. And I find that quite interesting for me, because if I produce a song, I used to be a producer and a musician and all that business. When I used to produce songs for other people, I found that really easy. Producing my own songs, I found really challenging. To the point where I gave it all up. I was sick of it. Fucking hell. Where was I? So the triggers. So if you have a problem with finance, you have a problem with the recurring destructive relationships, you have a problem with your own unpleasant behaviour. You snap at people for people say things and you just go, but, and it's almost like you say, and I heard myself say, da-da-da-da-da. Now, anyone can be anything they want. It's how you cope with those people. If you've got a really loving, understanding family partner, you can get away with a lot of stuff. But it gets destructive after a while. So self-healing is really important. Being able to work out how to self-heal is very, very important. So I talked about 5 steps. It's a million steps if you want, or it's 2 steps. But let's go 5 because it sounds very good on the clickbaity stuff. Oh, by the way, if you're enjoying it so far, you must be, it's riveting. Can you please like and subscribe and tell all your friends you found a fucking genius, a slippery genius. or not. Anyway, so number one, really, of the 5 steps is to identify the trigger. You really must know what this is. There's certain meditations where you go back into it and you zhuzh it away. That way, you find the trigger. Now, keep in mind, Dr. Joe Dispenza has had his team of geniuses do research. 50% of our memories are probably made up. So what that is saying is that instead of doing the thing, you do remembering the thing, you remember a representation of the thing which you may have made up, but it represents it for you, and that's going to be one of our quick healing techniques in a second. So just keep that in mind. But if you find there's a trigger and you relate it to something that, say, happened in your childhood, the accountant story I was telling you when I distracted myself was he found out through hypnosis, and I used to do a lot of this when I was a hypnotherapist, that at a stressful time in his childhood, he was at church, and it's often a significant parent, uncle, minister, policeman, whatever it was in your life, when you're in a bit of a traumatic state, because your kids, you don't know what's going on really. You're powerless and you don't know what's going on, so you can be emotional quite easily. Well, I was. And said that a rich man has the chance of going to heaven as a camel has of going through an eye of a needle. Obviously too young to know the whole passage and how it referred to the eye of the needle was a gateway, but anyway, unconsciously thought being rich won't get me to heaven. He doesn't care if anyone else goes to heaven, but was very concerned that he would go to heaven. So anyway, that once he dealt with that, bosh, he's now, well, as far as I know, making a mozza. Anyway, so identify the trigger is the first thing. Where you've done it through journaling, you've just sat down and considered things. What is it that's going on here? This is like when you feel the first pain. This is the start of your healing process. It may just stop from that. You may, the unconscious mind just goes, all right, you've done it, you've got the emotional resources, stop doing it. Why do I always pick the same partner who's an idiot or a narcissist? Obviously, I want to punish myself for something. Why would I punish myself? So it's these kinds of conversations. And I often say the magic of the universe happens in the stillness. You need some quiet time, some solitary time, some solitude to make this happen. If you're in a busy family, you've got kids and that, you need to find yourself some space to consider this stuff if you want to deal and move on from behaviours that you're not happy with. So, what's going on? Why would I do this? So it could start straight away. You might solve it. If not, and you're feeling a lot of pain from it, depressive, pain, hurt, upset, frustration, anger, despair, you need to get in the present. Presence is so important to happy and robust mental health. So the easiest way to get in the present is 3 deep breaths. Notice breaths. I worked very hard on that because it's easy to sound like something else. So that is, and follow the breath in. Follow the breath out. Present. Follow the breath in. Follow the breath out. In and out. The old in and out. 3 times and you'll be fully in the present. It is highly recommended, if you want to avoid emotional pain and distress, that you work to be present all the time. Washing the dishes, be present. Don't be thinking about what someone said. Cooking dinner, be in the present. Eating dinner, be present to your dinner. Enjoy every mouthful. Don't be watching a show on YouTube. I'm guilty of it too, don't worry. No one's perfect. And so forth and so on. So, number 2, get in the present. Number 3, if you have a trauma with a person, if there's something like an ex who you can't get out of your head, or a boss who is like driving you crazy, or you're only seeing, say for your partner, you're only seeing the bad side of them. You're only seeing the bits of them, and it's very often 10%. The rest of it's fabulous. But when you're having a rough time, you just keep focusing on the bits that you're not happy with. So, the best thing to do in that situation, now say for example, this would cost you a fortune if you went to a therapist. Say for example, you closed your eyes and saw the person's head. And it was, I'm trying to look at myself on the screen, and it filled up your whole vision. The person, 40 years old, this mug. That's the sort of person I am. It filled up your vision completely. That's too big for an ex, for a relationship, for any. It's just taking over your life, and that's why you can't get them out of your mind. So, what you need to do is this. Now, I'm going to guide you through it slowly. So, if you want to close your eyes and do it with me, here we go. So, just close your eyes now. Imagine, sense, or feel that face or that image that is causing you a distress or the inability to move on from a relationship or from an ex-employer or from a difficulty you had with your current partner, and you keep seeing this image. And now, while your eyes are closed, just take a couple of deep breaths to just get into the present, into the moment, and start reducing the size of that image. That's right. Just make it smaller and smaller. And make it about the size of a mug. And then push it away. Just push it back. Just get it a bit further away from you. You don't want it too close. Now, if it's a person's face, they may be angry. They may be upset. They may be any sort of emotion. Well, you don't really want that emotion. So, let's put a smile on their face. Let's see them happy. If you keep reliving a situation where an employer or someone important to you has been scolding you or got angry with you, an argument with your partner, just turn it into a cartoon. Yeah. Turn the whole thing, the face, the angry face, the uncomfortable situation, the unpleasant scene, into a cartoon scene. Pick one of your favourite cartoons from when you were a child. I'm older than probably most of you, so I could do the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Bugs Bunny, very good, Coyote. And just work to make that cartoon really amusing. And just hold that for a bit. And lock that in. And you're permitted to smile now, because it's suddenly become really funny. And now slowly bring yourself back to the now, back to the present. Another breath or two, and you can open your eyes and come back. Okay, now that's a really, really quick way to, it's probably gone for all you people now. Don't try and unpick it. The most important thing in brief therapy, NLP, hypnotherapy, let it go. It's happened. Don't try and understand what happened. Don't try and unpick it. Don't try and relive it. You might want to do the process if it hasn't completely gone, but certainly don't go in and try and examine it. You're just going to re-imprint the trauma of it back rather than re-imprint the solution. If you want to do the process, just do the process. Another really good process for you to do very quickly is to, if it's a situation, like say it's a behavior that you really don't want, that you feel is holding you back, a way you're responding is holding you back, then I would just try, another quick solution is to draw a picture of the thing that you think is holding you back, and get a friend to hold it about 3 or 4 feet away from you, like that. Hold it in the air, about 3 or 4 feet away from you. And then get yourself into a good space, a few deep breaths to be in the present. If you like, you can imagine the scene like it's in another room playing in a video. You don't want to go through the trauma again. And all this stuff, everybody, you don't want to keep re-imprinting it. This is what I think is terribly wrong with psychotherapy. Constantly making you relive a trauma means you're re-imprinting the trauma. You don't want to do that. You just imagine it's a video playing in another room, but this drawing is the representation of it. So why it needs to be a video in the other room is if you were asked how much upset it could cause you, you've got a sort of a scale of it. And we do this a lot with EFT. We get an idea of the scale. Like could be 7 out of 10 trauma is coming from that thing. How do I have to go through it full 7 out of 10? And then you do a treatment, and then they say, well, how much do you feel about it now? And it could be 2, which is 2's enough to deal with. Your unconscious mind will sort all that out. So anyway, you're back to the present. Your friend's holding up this drawing that you've done, which represents a thing that you want, that you think's holding you back, or is keeping you in a bad place, or is recurring, and you just walk slowly through it. Through the pictures hanging up here, you just walk through the piece of paper, and just crash through it. Break through. It's breakthrough. Leave it. Everybody, we don't know what reality is. We make representations of it because we have no idea what the fuck's going on. So we make a map of the world of our reality. All our traumas, we make maps of them. We make representations of them. We don't know what's going on. We really don't. People think they do. They really don't. How am I so confident? That's what happens when you talk to the Creator every day. You just go, boom, this is how it works. And you go, okay, I'll have that. And off you go. I'm not saying I know everything. All I'm saying is I am extremely confident that most people haven't got a clue. When I say what is reality? Reality is something we're creating our own realities every moment. Mine's completely different to someone else's. So is there a base reality? Elon Musk said, the chances that we're living in base reality are about 1 billion to 1. So it's either a simulation, a hologram, or everybody just creates their own in a quantum soup out of the quantum field. So you as soon as you think of something, you create that as being real. I mean, that's why it's easy to get rid of stuff. If you can create it like that, you can get rid of it like that. You just got to know how. And believe that you can. Most of the things that goes wrong with us, is that grammatically sensible? Most of the things that go wrong with us, happens, didn't go to school much, is created by ourselves. We do it all. We just create all the stuff, all the problems, everything, we do it all. And we have to take full accountability and responsibility for this. Now, once you realise how powerful you are and that you're a co-creator, then of course you can get rid of the same stuff you just created because you're that powerful. What's happened for thousands of years, everybody, is it's been a concerted effort by the powerful, the elite, who think they're the chosen families that run the world, the bloodlines that run the world. They don't want us to know how powerful they are, so they've kept us disempowered. They've kept us as slaves. They created slaves. How did that happen? How did we become cattle? Whose idea was that? Who put themselves up there? I won't go into it now. But we are We have the God gene, and we are some of the most powerful creatures in the universe. True. Hard to believe when you're looking at your next electricity bill, but we are. So you need to have faith in that. You have to start believing that. The reason that you don't believe it is you've got no evidence of it, and someone is always trying to frighten you. If you start meditating, you'll find that you get frightened a lot less. And you suddenly feel a bit more powerful because you start experiencing bigger things than Josie on the news is telling you. Anyway, so that was number 3. This is could be a long video. Number 4. Now I'm going to shorten it from now on. You'll be pleased to know. Number 4, go for a walk. Whenever you're feeling shit, go for a walk. Go for a walk. Go for a walk. Everything changes when you go for a walk. Go for a walk, get outside, get in the fresh air, take some deep breaths, feel yourself, kinesthetic. It's kinesthetic. You may be a kinesthetic learner. You may be a kinesthetic healer. You may need to move to heal. You may need to move to shift your to reframe. Reframing is really important in dealing with psychological issues, but kinesthetic reframing is the simplest. And we're talking about 5 quick ways, folks. Go for a walk. Whenever you're feeling shit, go for a walk. About to have a row at home, go for a walk. If you feel it coming on, break the pattern. We're pattern detectors. She said, I said, she said, it's there's the pattern started. Sweetie, I've got to go for a walk. What happened? My back's hurting and I always feel better. It feels better, which is true. That will heal a feeling. It will make a bad back, lower back, feel better. All the micro muscles get worked, and you put oxygen and blood and oxygen. Blood first, oxygen second. You put stuff in there. Always feels better. I mean, I've got a history of back problems, and I've done everything. I've done everything, man. Anyway, now last, number 5 is grow a bigger hand. Number 5 is look for the best feeling thought. Whenever you have stuff come up, it always comes with thoughts. And the thoughts have to be captured. These are really important because the thoughts lead to words, and the words lead to actions, and the actions lead to behaviour, and behaviour leads to characteristic. It could all be a pile of shit. It could all be wrong. It could all be a lie. It could all be manufactured in your head. So you need to get hold of the thoughts. So it's much better to look for the best feeling thought. So what I'm saying by this, if, say for example, and it happened to me, I was in a rush to go, I bought 2 air conditioners. Greece has a really weird system where you can pay cash on delivery, and another thing, you can say to a deliverer, say, do you know the shop on that road? Because they don't deliver as far as my village. Do you know the shop on that road? Yeah. Do you go past that shop? Yeah. Can you leave them there? They go, yeah, okay. And they will just leave your products, items, at someone's shop front, out on the floor, out in front of the shop. Because it doesn't rain here in summer, that's quite okay. Anyway, I was rushing, because it's about 25 minutes from my house. I was rushing to get there and collect it, obviously. And as I come out of my drive, it's a bit rough and ready here in Greece. Some of the work they don't do. Anyway, there's a sharp rock on the wall around which I would drive, and I went I cut it a bit fine because I was in a bit of a rush. Anyway, it tore out the side of my tyre. So a flat. Knowing my 2 air conditioners are sitting out the street now on a main road in a distant village. Now there was a time that would have sent me into some sort of, why me? Why has it happened to me? Why, like complete meltdown really. To the point where I may not have been able to change a tyre. I would have been So angry, frustrated, despair. Do you know what? After all the work I've done, nothing happened. I just changed diet and got on with it. And that's what I'm saying. The best feeling thought in that moment was, well, the sooner the tyres change, the sooner I get my aircon. Was the best feeling thought. All the rest were rubbish. So there you are, my friends. I hope you enjoyed my talk of the 5. And there's lots of ways, you know. I'm probably going to do loads of these in the future of different aspects of it. But there were some practical techniques for you, which will help you. And I hope you did enjoy it. And stay tuned for my other videos, which I'm starting to get through, as there's a lot of topics in this world of being happy. Please help me grow the channel, so like and subscribe and all of that. And if you'd like to assist me a little bit to keep all this work going, which I'd love to do, I'm happy to serve, but a little bit of help is always gratefully received. There's some details down below for if you've got any crypto that you've made far too much money out of and want to donate a little bit, you can. And all of the above. So bye for now, and see you in the next video.